As the title may suggest, this is going to be a controversial point of view within the flat earth community. But it is the truth, and I know you want the actual truth. I know that we live on a flat and stationary earth, so I am part of that community. But they're being tricked. And I take this very seriously and want to ask you to listen to what is said in full and try hard to understand what I'm pointing out. There is greater deception happening than most flat earth believers are aware of, and it is because they're being deceived again, and it's they don't have to be. They don't have to be. Please hear me out. This is important information. Proverbs 18 verse 13 says, "He that answereth a matter before he heareth it, it is a folly and shame unto him." Okay, so this is what I see happening today. On flat earth, the idea of the Illuminati or a ruling elite behind closed doors lying to the world is commonly and strongly believed on flat earth. Now, in general, I'm kind of stereotyping, but they say that NASA lies to the public, to the world, and the space agencies, and make them believe in a fake place called space, and make them believe that the Earth is a sphere. Mainly for money and to worship Satan. To be clear, and like I said, very general, they think there are men hiding the shape of the earth. Okay, my beliefs have changed on this. Not on the earth, but about who's doing the lying. And some of this is very important. And it's not always easy to comprehend what I'm saying, so please just listen to me and try to understand as what I'm trying to say. And I'm probably not very good with my words. But I can't see this way anymore, and it seems so innocent and elementary after understanding what is actually happening. I don't want to insult anyone, but, have some questions. How would NASA do this without people knowing about it? If it's people within NASA that are lying about space or whatever, how would they do that? Area 51? And why would I even ask that? Well, here's why. This is where it gets interesting, guys. In the Bible, it says that there's no flesh and blood that's lying to the world or that's deceiving the whole world, okay? It says that NASA didn't deceive the whole world, or it doesn't say that, but it doesn't say that. It says who deceived the world, okay? There has been a worldwide deception, and the flat earthers are the ones that believe this probably more than anybody. They understand this. So men are definitely involved in this New World Order, or whatever you want to call it. Definitely involved, of course. But like I said a minute ago, the Bible says that there's no flesh and blood. We're not struggling against flesh and blood. We're struggling against cosmic powers of evil in the heavenly realm. And you'll know why I worded it that way if you study that verse. If you look at what that verse actually says. We aren't struggling against anything that's like us. Okay? Anything flesh and blood. And what I'm trying to say is that everybody that works at NASA is flesh and blood. And that in Revelation 12, it wasn't NASA that deceived the whole world. It was the dragon, and it was Satan. that deceive the whole world. This is an important thing. It's like a small detail, but it's not. It's a big topic and I know people are getting heated just hearing what I'm saying. But try to hear me out. Okay, men are involved. We know this. But what I'm saying is that they're not lying. The difference is that I know NASA isn't lying to the world, because NASA believes what they tell the world. They believe that they traveled to the moon with spaceships and landed men and walked around on the moon. This is the kind of scope of strong delusion that I believe Paul was talking about to the Thessalonians. Strong delusion so that they believe a lie. This is God sending strong delusion. How strong of delusion do you think the creator of all things would send? You bet they think they went to the moon. Do you get what I'm saying? The ruling powers of this world are the rulers of the darkness of this world. Darkness is a topic that the flat earthers are in denial of, it seems like. A lot of the depictions I see of creation from the flat earth perspective, it has like firmaments and everything, but there's no darkness. There's no layer of darkness above the earth. Well, in Genesis 1 verse 2, it says, in the beginning God, or that 1 and 2, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. So there was darkness upon the face of the deep, and that word deep means abyss. So there was darkness upon the face of the abyss. And where do we have darkness? And I mean literal darkness. I don't mean like goth darkness, like that idea. I mean literal darkness. God divided the light from the darkness, the day from the night, the sun and moon and the light. That's why we can see. Otherwise, it's all darkness. The firmament is a place of darkness. That's exactly what that darkness upon the face of the deep is. Or that's where the firmament is. Literal darkness, guys. It's a spiritual place that we call the night sky or space. So biblical cosmology is very important. And in the beginning there was mentioned this place of darkness. And today that darkness is clearly above the earth. So I'm concerned because every teaching or whatever I see, of other people today of biblical cosmology, it's missing that place of darkness. They like deny it. Space is fake. It doesn't exist. Nothing happens there. No, there's a place of darkness there. So who's hiding the shape of the earth? Satan is. And he deceived the whole world. Not most of the world. Not everybody but a group of elite. That's not what happened. Please realize that this deception has already taken place. And we are coming out of being deceived. Okay? Continue to have your eyes opened. Don't be ignorant of what is actually happening to make this world believe the lie, just so you can say space is fake. Because don't say satellites are fake. Now, the idea of a satellite is something that orbits around a body or whatever, so that's fake. There's no orbiting going on around the Earth, because the Earth is a flat plane. But there's a place called the firmament above it that spins really fast, and so if they send a rocket up to catch up with that firmament, they can put things in it, and they stay there. This is reality. And to prove it to yourself, just go out at night and turn your eyes up to the sky and you will see all these little things that men have put up there. You'll see a space station flying over. You'll see Starlink satellites littering the sky. They cover the face of the earth. Well, up to 60 degrees south and north, but not beyond. Which should tell you something about the shape of the world, guys. Anyway, stop thinking that men can even deceive the world. Start believing Jesus and Paul and John and Daniel and Ezekiel. Start believing the prophets. Stop ignoring what they said. They said that Ezekiel was shown the temple of God, New Jerusalem, up in the sky. He went up between the heaven and the earth. He was pulled up there by his hair. It's in chapter 8. Go check it out. What did he see up there? What was happening up there? What kind of things got put up there? Yeah, abominations and detestable things were put up there. And God was going to recompense them on our heads. And I'll say our heads because this is the time. We're in that time. So anyway, nobody at NASA hides anything from the world. They're just doing their job that they feel, and they believe in this false thing. They believe in space. They believe they need to that Elon needs to make another world for them. And they're not lying either. NASA. They're not lying. They're deceived too. And believe what they do is for humanity. Don't assume that there are magical men out there tricking you and the world. This is much worse than that. Which brings me to one other subject. People always say the coming New World Order or the One World Government or the One World Order agenda. Stop, please. Old news. In the past and right now, in the present. This world worships the stars and the host of heaven, not God on his throne in heaven with Jesus at his right hand. And I'll tell you what, this is something I know, that he's flying with the clouds of heaven right now, and he's reproving the world of sin because we did not believe in him. Thank you for listening. And if you're bothered by this idea, please go study out what Paul said in Ephesians 6:12 about the struggle and about the rulers of the darkness of this world that we're at war with in a spiritual battle. Decide on your own whether you believe what Paul said or not. Whether you believe the testimony of Jesus Christ, which is in the book of Revelation, that Satan deceived the whole world. Do you believe him? I believe Jesus. I believe Paul. I believe all of these prophets, what they said. And it's truth. That's the thing that maybe other people have a problem with, but it's truth. And that's the other reason why I believe what I do. I'm only interested in sharing the understanding I have because I've been learning it from my teacher. And I mentioned him a minute ago. He's flying with the clouds of heaven. And I hear his voice on Mount Zion. And I know that the time we're in right now, people can't see the times. I don't know why, but they can't. And so that's why I'm trying to get them to. Thank you for listening.